Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Lights streaming series, The Next Stage. We are so excited to be here with you tonight. Many of you have seen Kinky Boots already. Perhaps some of you have not seen Kinky Boots. I'm looking at the list of all you folks here. I don't think we'll give too many spoilers, but if you think there's going to be a spoiler and if you just suddenly turn your camera off or mute yourself, we'll know why. We are recording tonight, so tonight's episode will be shown on the City Lights YouTube. So if you want to leave your camera off because you're feeling shy, that's fine. If you want to type questions into the chat, that's fine too, or have them on. My name is Rebecca Wallace. Excuse me. My name is Rebecca Wallace. I'm the marketing director at City Lights, and I've been hosting this online series since April 2020, which was, let's just all cover our faces and not think about that time. This used to be a weekly series. Happily, we are now monthly, bi-monthly, because we actually have a theater to be in person, which makes us much happier. But we did have a lot of fun during that time on Zoom. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Kinky Boots. I admit I haven't seen the show yet because I work mostly from my home in Eugene, Oregon, but I will be down to see it on the 26th, and I'm so excited, so excited. Part of the reason is that there are many of you in the cast I haven't even met yet because you're new to City Lights. Welcome. This looks like a fantastic cast, and it is so wonderful to have so many of you new to our company. So welcome, welcome. Let's see, any more pieces of housekeeping? I've got questions that I'll be asking of the cast. I'll be showing photos here and there, but if you have questions, feel free to type them into the chat or raise your hand, and then at the end, I'll just open up the whole shebang to questions. But why don't we start off by introducing our artists? Why don't you tell me your name and what role you play in the show? Let's start with City Lights Executive Artistic Director, Ms. Lisa Mallette.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to this. It's so fun. I've been really excited for this one. My name is Lisa Mallette. I use the she, her pronouns. I am zooming in from San Mateo or the Ramaitush Ohlone land. And I directed this show with one of my best friends, Mark Anderson Phillips, who couldn't be here tonight, but I said I would represent. So happy to be here and so glad you are all here.
Lisa, you want to pass it on to someone else?
Okay, yes. I'm going to pass it on to, does it matter who? Is it okay?
Doesn't matter who, just pass it on.
I'm going to pass it on to AJ. Olivia just giggled. Olivia's my 16-year-old who's crewing the show, who loves AJ. And I said, I'm going to pass it to AJ. And Olivia's like,
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is AJ. I'm new to City Lights. I'm zooming in from San Jose. And what else? What was I'm playing, I'm in the male ensemble, and I also play Harry.
Great. Pass it on to whichever artist you'd like to pass it to.
Let's go with Lauren.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Burling. My pronouns are she, her. I'm zooming in from Fremont, California, and I play Lauren in the show. And I will pass it to little David.
Hi, my name is David S. and I play Young Lola, and I am new to City Lights, and I'm zooming in from Benicia, California.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Who do you want to pass it on to?
I'll pass it on to Big David.
Hi, I'm Big David. I play the Pink Angel in the show, and I'm in Newark, Fremont area. Yeah. And I will pass it on to Doug.
Hi, I'm Doug Brook. I am coming to you from San Jose, California, and I play Mr. Price. And I'll pass it to my next of kin, Matt.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Locke. I'm also new to City Lights, currently zooming in from Modesto, California, and I'm playing Charlie in our production of Kinky Boots. I'll throw it to Quinn.
Alrighty, hi everyone. I'm Quinn Dembecki. I am in San Jose, California. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Dawn in Kinky Boots. And I will pass it to Karen.
There we go. Hi, I'm Karen DeHart. I play Pat, she, her. I'm zooming in from San Jose.
Well, it's okay. Well, we just
I'm going to pass it on to Molly.
Hey,
Hi,
I'm
Molly.
Hello, I'm Molly. I play Trish. I'm also zooming in from San Jose, and I joined a little late, so I don't know who hasn't gone yet. AJ, have you gone yet?
How about Gloria? You want to go next, Gloria?
Gloria, I'll pass it to Gloria.
Hi, I'm Gloria Stanley. I'm coming from San Jose, and I'm in the production side of things as wardrobe and costume supervisor. And this is my second production with City Lights. And I'm going to pass it to Anthony.
Oh, Caitlin, you haven't gone yet, have you?
I have not. Hi, everyone. My name is Kaylin Erb. I'm the costume designer for the show. This is also my second show with City Lights. I use she, her pronouns. I'm coming from San Jose. And I'm looking through the list to see who hasn't gone.
I think Mateo has not gone yet.
Yeah, Mateo, why don't you go, buddy?
Hello, I am Mateo Checky. I am a he, him. I'm zooming in from Santa Clara, California, and I am playing young Charlie in the play.
Thank you, Mateo.
And wait, I am also very new to City Lights. It is my first time performing in any professional theater.
So cool. I think that's everybody. And if I skipped you, oh, Anthony, is Anthony here?
Oh yeah, I'll pass it on to Anthony.
Hello, my name is Anthony Castilian. I play the Purple Angel, and this is my first experience at City Lights, and it has been amazing.
Well, you look amazing in the photos. All of you do. Those photos are fantastic. Oh, this is exciting. I want to give a shout out to our company photographer, Christian Pizzirani, who just does wonderful work. I want to put up a few of the team photos here. This is a great one. And of course, unfortunately, there were a lot of people who couldn't make it tonight, but we're happy to see everyone's faces represented here. And because you are so serious and you all are just, very serious dramatic actors. There you go. Oh, I love it. Love it. All right. I was going to say raise your hand if you're new to City Lights, but you've kind of all raised your hand, and there have been so many of you. There are lots of new ones. I'm going to pull up a few photos of new folks, but new folks, think for a minute. I would love to hear you share what brought you to City Lights and what are you loving about working here? Like, what's been one of your favorite moments? Any new person want to go? And then I've got some photos to pull up too. All right, Mateo, let's hear it. No?
Can you remind me the question? Sorry.
What are you loving about this production? What are you loving about working at City Lights? What's the best part?
Possibly meeting everybody in their true, authentic self. The message of the story. It's just amazing to see everybody performing and giving their heart out for a lot of people.
I love that. And I have a very nice picture of you and Mr. Doug. Where's my spotlight button? There it is. Ah, nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Hi, AJ.
Hello, everyone. I would just like to say that this is probably hands down. I mean, I haven't done a show in 5 years, but this is hands down one of the best casts I think I've ever worked with. Everybody that I met so far at City Lights has just been absolutely incredible. So just wanted to say that.
And let me show this one. I think you're in this photo. AJ, tell us what's going on here in this photo.
You know, my lovely bandmates and I, we come out and we sing, you know, good like little 5-second thing, and that's that.
But you can't tell it's just a 5-second thing. Like I would think that this is sort of the centerpiece of the whole show because it's such a great photo.
It's a great photo.
And the lights. Oh my goodness. Lights are
The lighting is incredible in this entire show. That's one of my favorite parts of it, actually.
Yeah.
So that showcases it beautifully.
So much good stuff. So much good stuff. Any other newcomer want to jump in and say, what are you loving about working here? Quinn.
Yeah, no, I'll jump in. This is my first show at City Lights. I mean, I think this is kind of echoing through everyone already, but the people in this cast, not only is it one of the most talented casts I've ever worked with, but just the group of people is so phenomenal, and the environment and culture over at City Lights is not only a good place to work, but it's a fun place to work, and we're all up there every night having a blast, and it's been a very rewarding experience. So that's been my favorite part, is just getting to be there every day with everyone.
And you also get a really cool character arc.
Quinn. A little bit, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your character and your character's arc.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but my character is perhaps not as accepting of everyone in the story as he should be, and so in his journey is kind of navigating that and overcoming his own prejudices and previous beliefs, and growing a lot as an individual and learning a lot along the way. So that's a really fun idea to explore as a performer. So that's been a really fun experience for me as well.
What's the lyric? You change the world when you change your mind.
You change the world when you change your mind. Right. That's a really beautiful lyric, I think, and it really encompasses that whole character arc into one phrase without giving too much away. So I don't want to.
I've got a photo of you as well.
Oh, let's see it.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry we don't have Bart here tonight, but
oh my gosh, I wish we did.
That is a great moment. Do you want to tell us what's going on here?
Yeah, let's do it. So this is the song "What a Woman Wants." So and Bart and I kind of have a little showdown here. He kind of gets to show me up a little bit in this song. He really kind of calling me out, my character out on a lot of his bigoted, toxic masculine ideas, and it's really a great scene. And right here, he's kind of just shoving me away. As you can see, I'm trying to duck out of the way of his hand, and it's this is one of my favorite numbers in the show. This is a fun one.
That's a really great moment. I captioned the photo "Talk to the Hand" because I wasn't sure what was going on.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
I see David and Naomi have a hand raised. David, did you want to jump in?
Yes, my favorite thing of working at City Lights is the people. The show for sure. The show is amazing. I recommend it to anybody. And I think just the message of the show too is very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Be who you are. Be proud of who you are. Especially for these times, it's a really important show. I don't know that I wasn't planning to jump over to the seriousness, but I feel like maybe that's an interesting segue. Is right now with the art of drag being so under attack in other parts of the country, and of course so many other ways that people are not being encouraged to be who they are. This show has such a beautiful message. And is this something, and anybody feel free to jump in, is this something that resonated with you? Do you have audience members saying like, thank you for doing the show right now? Anyone want to jump in on that? Lisa, maybe? I know Lisa has thoughts.
Too many thoughts as usual. That's why we wanted to do it so much. I feel in a way like this particular, not only this show, but being blessed with this particular group of people as well, feels like a quintessential show for City Lights. It represents what we try to do all the time, even if the show isn't so overtly, messaging this. Like the culture is about supporting one another and allowing people to be themselves, their best selves, I will say, like be the best you can be in that moment. But so I feel like this show really represents who we are. And it feels really good. I've wanted to do this show forever. It's the message of not only inclusivity and acceptance and respect, but also lifting each other up. Like we need that so much. Like, it's not enough to just be like, all right, you be you. We have to also advocate. And also, if somebody is down, if their glitter is rusty, they need to be lifted up. And I feel like we
Leaving us in suspense, Lisa.
Okay.
You're cut out just for a second.
Shoot. Sorry. Because we were locked in rooms for a year and a half. I feel like we weren't thinking about each other. I might need to get my cable.
Yeah, well, we'll let you get your cable. But I think you were talking about how, yeah, we were locked in our rooms for a year and a half. And this is a kind of a show that celebrates togetherness and all of us being together and raising each other up to go through whatever we're going through. It's beautiful. I see a hand up from one of our regular patrons. Jumana, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on how much we enjoyed this production. It was just a big blast. It was so much fun, and it was one of the ones that'll stay in my memory.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. We are hearing such lovely comments from so many patrons, and the reviews are great. We're getting great reviews on Google and all over the place. And it's just, there's so many people talking about how the show made them feel. And it's like, you just walk out and you feel uplifted. And that's a gift you get from theater. Okay, speaking of uplifted, raise your hand if this is your first time dancing on heels. Nice. Wait a minute, one of our angels? David, really? Your first time dancing in heels?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How does one prepare for this? Do you go to Target in heels? Do you wear them around the house? It's one thing if you're only dancing in heels in the last number, but you are in it.
Can't speak for all the angels, but we early on, because we knew we were going to be wearing heels throughout the show, it was early on, first rehearsal, we're like, where do we get them? So Lysander gave us some suggestions and things, and then I started with really short ones, and then I got taller ones as the rehearsals went on, and then finally we got the show ones, which had the heel part was very thin.
Ooh.
And so each one was a difficulty higher, so it took a little time, but it was just wearing them through rehearsal and walking around in them.
I think you were training in the different heights. It was
yeah, works my way up.
Wow. And it's a challenge, but I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Who else is new to heels? Who else is your first time dancing in heels? Quinn, tell us. How's it been?
I won't lie, it's been a struggle. It's obviously one of the most fun parts of the show, so I love doing it, but I will admit I have taken a tumble or two in the heels, but it's been fun. It's been fun, and we're getting used to them. As we are almost closing in 2 weeks here, but I'm almost there, right?
You're
by next Sunday it'll be perfect.
Flawless.
Right?
I love this. Now, hi Barbara. Do I dare ask how many pairs of shoes we've gone through in this show? Kayla and Gloria, can you give an estimate, or is it just like, I can't even think about that?
It's upwards of 150. I did the math a couple days ago. Everybody has at least 2 pairs of shoes. And with a 20-person cast, that gets you to 80. And then we've got our lovely understudies that come in as needed. So they all get shoes, and then the heels. Poor Bart has so many different shoes in this show. The angels all have at least 3 pairs of shoes. It's up there. It's a lot.
That's impressive. And I know you painted them a lot of them by hand, as we saw on Instagram.
Mhm.
And I believe Bart is with us now. Would you like to jump in and introduce yourself?
Hello, hello. I am
Hello.
Bart. I play the part of Lola. So happy to join everyone on Zoom today and, share fun stories and, our insights and what it was like to play the part.
And this is your first time at City Lights too, right?
First time and an amazing experience. Everyone at City Lights has been so gracious. So sweet, so thoughtful. So detail oriented when it comes to the actors and our experience, and I want to say just the family that we've created and the bond that we have is something that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. These are some amazing people, amazing talented cast behind the scenes, on stage. It has just been an experience that I can't explain. And City Lights has been amazing.
That was wonderful to hear. Wonderful to hear. I haven't met you. I'm Becky. I'm the marketing director.
Hi. Hello.
We've texted, but we haven't met yet.
It's good to get a face to a name.
Yeah, I'm seeing the show on the 26th, so I'm super excited.
Be ready, be ready, be ready.
I'm bringing my mom. I'm bringing my husband. It's like we're.
It's a family affair.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I have 2 little boys, and I was trying to figure out, is there a way that I could bring them to the theater so they could come at least see a number run? I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I would love to introduce them to that. Yeah, they've seen more rehearsals of things like Lizzie and Viet Gone, and which are not, as necessarily kid friendly. So see if we can get them here. I know that before we organized this thing, this is all very informal and we're just having a good time. I did put the word out that if any cast members, artists have fun backstage stories or favorite moments in the show that they want to share, please, anyone jump in at any time, because that's the good stuff. And while you're thinking, I'm going to show you a few more photos. Because Lauren, I have a gorgeous photo of you. I have so many great photos of you singing.
Oh.
Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lauren, what song is this? What's happening here?
I would love to share about something related to this, actually. This is the song The History of Wrong Guys, which is the solo that the character Lauren sings in the show. And this is right when she realizes that she developed feelings for Charlie, and she's essentially singing about how that is not the best idea, but it's also like, can't really help it.
Yeah.
So, and just like she's talking about all of her past not so great experiences with men, and for me at least, I think that I can relate a lot to this song. And I think a lot of other women or anybody who has had experiences with wrong guys, whoever is interested in those types of people. But it's I've had a lot of people come up to me after the show and tell me how much they related to that particular moment in the show, and it's been wonderful. I will say that I don't know, this isn't too much, this isn't really a spoiler, but in that song,
Mute if you haven't seen the show yet.
okay, if you haven't seen the show, it's like not a big plot point in the show, but I was gonna say one of my favorite like memories from the show, like the rehearsal process, was in the song there's this one part where Lauren like blows her hair with an air hose, and for the longest time I didn't think we were going to actually do that in our production at first, but then I heard that we were, and I was really excited. But for the majority of the rehearsal process, I didn't actually do it. And for a second there, I was like, maybe we're not actually going to do it. And then when we actually got to the tech rehearsal and we were doing cue to cue, and you got to that point in the show, I was like, is it, I think Charnay, our stage manager, was suddenly like, to that stand in that part where you're like blowing the hair, and I was like, sure, but I don't have anything, like, is it actually happening? And then Ron was like, yes, it is. And then that's when he brought it out, and then the first time that he like pressed the button to make it work, I like screamed a little bit. I was so excited. So that was very lovely. That was a very special moment, that first time that I got to play with that.
Oh, that's fun. And that's Ron Gasparnetti, who you're talking about, is our wonderful scenic designer, production manager, jack of all trades. We couldn't do it without him. Thank you, Lauren. Karen is raising her hand. Yes, Karen.
Oh, just my favorite moment is everybody say yeah. And that's the closing of Act 1. Of course, the closing of Act 2 is really fun too. But anytime we're about ready to go, we're like, okay, we get to do this. Let's go, let's go. And we're all excited to go and do that number. And doing it is so fun. But anytime out of the corner of your eye, you catch the audience, the smiles, the pure joy that is in the audience. And that final moment when we do the pose, oh my gosh, there's nothing like it. So that number is just, to me, what it's all about. It's just so fun. And then, of course, at the closing of the show, the message that we say, never let them tell you what you ought to be, and we will raise you up. I mean, those words are just so meaningful and so necessary today. So it's great to be a part of. Okay, I'm done.
And I bet you've danced on heels before, Karen.
I have, but not for a while, so I did have to practice.
Thank you for sharing. Many of you, I'm sure, remember Karen from so many wonderful roles at City Lights, like Alabama Story and Calendar Girls, and I could go on and on and on and on, but we all love Karen. We're always happy to have you back. And you have a question, or you have something to contribute. Oh, unmute yourself, my dear.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Ann Yonan. I'm the general manager, she, her, for City Lights. And I just wanted to give a really awesome compliment to the entire cast. My daughter, Sarah, is just graduated from college and is a very critical director person. So she was so impressed with everybody say yeah. She thought all those voices and all those harmonies are better than the original Broadway cast recording. So kudos to you guys. You guys rock. Your voices are amazing. And I thought so too, but coming from her, that's a huge compliment.
Thank you, Anne. I have a question in the chat. Nanette would like to know how many wigs are in the show. Another good question. AJ's looking up to the ceiling. Are you counting in your head?
Right. Well, Bart has I think Bart has 4, right?
I think so.
4 for Bart.
At least 4 for Bart. I know the angels all have 2. So 8. Whatever 8 plus 4 is. I can't do that. It's been a long day.
Don't ask me. I'm a
Too many. The
stylist,
answer is
not
too
a
many. There's so
mathematician.
many. Between the shoes and the wigs and the sparkles, there's just a lot.
I'm not going to ask how many sequins are in the show. Bart, you say in the chat you have a funny story. Bring it on.
Okay. Lisa, you're gonna kill me, but you'll love it. So I know everybody remembers preview night. And we were adjusting with the costumes and the hair, and we were out in front of the audience, and I was doing Land of Lola. And there's a part at the end of the song where me and the angels are going like Lola, and we're doing like our final pose, right? So on the preview, I'm doing like Lola, and I go to do like my little like pose at the end, and I go boom, and the wig falls off. The wig falls off, and it's like perfect comedic timing, literally. Everyone's cheering, they're laughing. And at the end of the show, people are coming up to me. They're like, oh my God, like, how did you guys get the wig to fall at the immediate time that you did the pose? That's great comedic timing. Like, was there underneath the wig? And I'm like, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's great. And Lisa's like, we need to pin it down. We need to pin it down. We need to make sure it's right for the show. We need to make sure it's good. And the wig hasn't slipped off since. So I'm glad. I'm so glad we adjusted everything, and we have pins in my wig.
And then the part that I don't even know if you were in the dressing room for, Bart, was that then I think Big David lost his wig. Yes. And I think Anthony did, like just in those first few performances when we were just all trying to figure it out. And I didn't do it in the show, of course, that would be rude. But the next day, I think I was like, okay. Yeah. You all have hair. Like Bart doesn't have any hair. Okay. But the 4 angels underneath those wigs have their own hair so they can pin curl. And I was like, let me teach you, yes. My lovelies. So this never happens again.
Never happens again.
And you know what it made me think of? There are only a handful of folks here that have been like on this journey with me for years and years. And I'm so happy we have so many new people. But I directed Amadeus for City Lights. And there was this moment like right near the end when I was directing this stuff where people had to freeze. So it looked a little bit like a shadow play thing. And one of our actors like wasn't thinking with the music and like froze in a really awkward position. And I walked down on stage and I was like, this should never happen. And that has been like a City Lights joke ever since. And so when I was in the dressing room with the angels with the pin curls, I was like, this should never happen. You all have enough hair. And I cracked myself up, even though none of them were around for Amadeus, but I cracked myself up.
Well, Lisa, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of a time on Zoom when we were talking about things that had gone wrong on stage in our theater careers. And it seems to me that one time you went on with pink curlers in your hair.
I did, in a Moliere piece. I had a big hair piece that I wanted all those, ringlets. And so I rolled it and I wanted to keep them in as long as possible. And I forgot to take them out. And the best part of that story is that all of I didn't know it. I really didn't know. So I'm acting normal, like acting in the scene. And I was a comic, the sassy maid, but all of my fellow actors were watching the scene off stage and like cracking up. And I thought, I am on fire tonight. Like, I am killing it. Everyone's laughing so hard. I must just be like in the zone. And then come to find out they're laughing at my curlers, my non-period pink curlers, and not my amazing acting talent. So yeah, that was a fun day.
Probably a mix of both.
Yes, that should never happen, Quinn. It's so true.
Lisa, did you notice what Doug held up while you were telling that story?
No, what?
Oh, duct tape.
Yeah, this show, just production value wise, I will completely admit, as the artistic director and producer, is a little out of our reach. But we like to pick shows that are a little out of our reach. The word challenge is in our mission associated with artists and audiences. So we knew this was going to be Mount Everest. I mean, it actually turned out to be even harder than I thought to pull together, for it to come together. But then when it did, it's just been magical ever since. So, but yeah, it's a big show. I mean, the conveyor belts alone, like, they're enormous. I remember walking backstage after they were delivered. The only way that you could have them far enough, I shouldn't say this. The only way that you could have them far enough off stage is to have them up against the wall, and Ron built extra extensions on the stage so that they could, but it was totally blocking that entrance and exit. And I thought, we better not get any fire marshals in here because we're blocking the fire exit for the actors.
I won't put this video up on YouTube until after we.
But we fixed that since sergeants. We fixed that since then.
Where did the conveyor belts come from?
Oh, we bought them from the Ray of Light production in San Francisco.
Yeah, because I know sometimes, and our audience members may not know this, sometimes we're very collaborative theater people, and sometimes we're like, oh, they did that show a few years ago. Would you sell us the this and the that? And we think ahead too. People end up with some of our stuff, and
we're selling them too. We bought them and we're selling them.
But my husband is a theater background too, and I remember him saying, like, oh, I've seen that couch at Santa Clara Players, or I've seen this, that, there are things that you start to recognize from show to show. Doug is nodding. Am I talking about Lend Me a Tenor? Yes. Doug directed him in Lend Me a Tenor. I think there was a famous couch that had been seen before. Anyway.
And I think that couch is in the side lobby at City Lights right now.
I wouldn't be surprised. Any of our audience members, just let you know, if you have questions, feel free to type them into the chat or raise your hand. Anne makes a good point. I think our Wolves grass has been rented or sold twice. When we did the Wolves, the soccer play, we had the fake turf that was on the field. And Kaylin mentions that Ron, our scenic designer, has a buyer for all the red boots too. Oh, so the red boots are getting sold right after the show closes, it sounds like. Yeah, I guess we're not going to keep them all. I don't know when we would use them again.
Not mine. I bought my own.
Oh, yeah?
I'm keeping them.
And Karen, if anyone can rock a pair of red boots year-round on any occasion, you can. Absolutely. Gloria just mentioned in the chat she'd like to mention something. Gloria, share your story.
I wanted to mention the conveyor belt. That whole scene amazes me. I see it from backstage almost all the time, and it just amazes me all the parts that have to move for that song, and then the fact that they're doing choreography on the belts, and while the belts are moving, no less. And the music of that piece, the vocals, the choreo, everything is just so beautiful and so amazing and so exciting. And the music overall, I'm hearing it from backstage all the time, and the voices, you guys bring tears to my eyes, the way you all just blend and have so much excitement and vibrancy. And every single song in this show is a gem. I mean, and it's all memorable. And I want to write to Cindy Lauper and say, Cindy, man, you killed it. It's just, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. You guys just, that's all I want to say. And audience members, if you haven't seen it, come see the show. My family's going to see the show either this weekend or the next weekend. But I love you. That's all I want to say.
And I just wanted to add, my character Trish gets to ride all 4 of the belts in sequence. I get stuck on it, so to speak. Now lately we've added some more I don't know if it's bits, but backstory where I have Dawn and George talking me into getting on it. So there's a little bit more of a push. So they kind of encourage me heavily. So there I am on it. And I'm like, Charlie, get me off of this thing. And I can't get off. And what I have noticed is during the run, it seems the belts are going faster, especially the belt at the very end when I get thrown off it. And thank God Arturo has been consistent in catching me. Because I come off that thing pretty fast on the final belt, butt first. So he has to be there to catch me, or if I would land in the proscenium. And we had interpretive ASL people there yesterday and didn't think about the fact that they're sitting right there where I come off of the conveyor belt. And I nearly kicked them in the head when I came off of that thing. So it was like, oops. Thank you, Arturo, for catching me and not knocking over the ASL people when I came off the end.
Molly, you're a trooper. It's great to have you back at City Lights too. What was the last show you did at City Lights?
Oh my God, the last show I did was 9, and that was about 9 years ago. That was, yeah. So I was so thrilled to rejoin the company and the fun that we have here. And yeah, the musicals, I love doing the musicals here. They're always so much fun, so great, and such great talent.
Oh, thank you. Anthony just put a comment, and I think it just went to me. It didn't go to everybody. Anthony says he needs to get going, but thank you all for having me. Thank you for being here. Sorry to interrupt you, Molly. I just want to make sure everyone heard that.
Nope, I was done. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think you got to introduce yourself either, but there you are.
I did. But I didn't say how many shows I done. I think I've done like 4 or 5 shows with City Lights. So, but it's been a bit of a break. So I'm back.
Yay.
Yay.
AJ, did I see you waving? Did you have something you wanted to add? Or were you just waving to Anthony?
I waved to Anthony, but I also had something I wanted to add about the number we were just talking about, the Everybody Say Yeah with the conveyor belts. So this is just a fun, quick, short story to share. I wasn't there the day that it was initially choreographed. And I just want to shout out to Lysander and anyone who was involved. I believe it was Charnay's idea to do the whole video thing. We had videos where we would watch if we were, absent a day and we weren't able to be there for the initial choreographing of a piece. And I remember watching it on my phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many moving parts of the song. I don't know where I'm going to be standing, what's going to be happening. And Lysander, God bless him, was like at the forefront saying, AJ, this is you right here. Okay, and then you're moving here, and then you're moving there. And I just have to say, it was just incredible, because I was like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna do this number? But we somehow made it work, and it's one of my favorite numbers in the show because we all get to be on stage together, minus Amber. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to share because it's a great team that we have. But that's a good moment that I'll cherish forever.
Oh, nice. Lysander, shout out, is our choreographer. And also a shout out to our vocal director, Sam Cisneros, helping with those beautiful vocal blends. Matt, I don't think we've heard from you. Do you have a moment you want to share?
You know what? Yeah, this kind of ties back to when we were saying about little oopsies that happened. I think this was a particularly funny one because now the crew doesn't let me live it down. So as people that have come to the show have seen, by the end of the show, I am absolutely drenched. I am very active on stage. I get so sweaty. It's awful. I would not wish this upon my worst enemy. But so I end up switching undershirts during intermission so that I don't immediately sweat through my light blue office shirt. It doesn't help that much by the end of the show, but it helps in the beginning. But for the first number of Act 2, there's What a Woman Wants, but there's a little scene beforehand. And one of the nights, I go and I change everything, but I have to take off my mic to change out my undershirt because otherwise it's just going to be weird. And I realized by the time I get back out onto the stage, I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. I'm not wearing my microphone. Luckily, it's City Lights is a small house and it's all about what is it? I can't remember the saying Lisa always says. But the mic's not there to recreate you. It's there to support you. So, I just project and make sure everyone can hear me still. And then for What a Woman Wants, I'm just sitting up there in the office. And then, I've got Lauren and Dane, who's our George in the production. They're in the up in the office. And I'm like, excuse me, y'all, I'm going to go get my mic. then I have to run backstage and I use the rest of the numbers since I'm not in like the main blocking downstage to go and put my mic back on and get dressed again. And then it's all good by the time I get back. So yeah, and now the crew won't let me live it down. You forget your mic one time and.
But did you actually project? I'm going to go get my mic. Or
no, that would be awful.
That kind of just quickly, that brings me back to a prior show I did here. Oh gosh, in like 2010, I did Tommy, the Who's Tommy, and I was Mrs. Walker. And they, thank God we can't do it anymore, but somehow we were able to mute our microphones, and I accidentally muted my microphone at the top of Act 1 and didn't know it. So I just knew I had no mic, and I did not leave the stage. I mean, from the top of the act till the end of Act 1, I was on constantly. So basically, Captain Walker, who was Mike Rohn, God bless him, whenever we could adjust our blocking, he would come over and stand right next to me, and I'd be singing into his microphone. We got through the whole first act with me like attached to Mike Rohn, singing into his body mic. And I figured out I had just accidentally muted it. So dumb me, but that was a fun one there.
You're a trooper, as is Mike. We have a question in the chat from Judy. Judy would like to know, the two young boys especially, what were your experiences like learning to walk and dance in high heels? Probably not something you've done a lot of before.
Definitely not, to be clear. It was I was expecting a lot for it to be hard. It'd be difficult to walk in high heels for the first time in my life. And for the first time, I felt weird to be so high up when I always felt so short in life. It just felt like giant.
My experience is that at first I also thought it was going to be hard. And probably the first month of wearing them, it was very painful for me. Like every time I took it off, I just felt my toes just like open up again. But then I got used to them and I was like, oh, okay, I see now. And walking them was actually pretty easier than I thought it would be for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, but you've always wanted to wear my high heels, and I'd say no because I'm afraid you're gonna fall and I'm gonna end up in the ER. So Kinky Boots gave him an opportunity to walk in the heels.
Nice, unexpected benefit.
But then now, I mean, probably won't. I don't know if I'll wear them again, but I'm still thinking about them. But I got used to them. But I don't think I'll wear them after this show, unless a literature requires it.
Lisa, you got your hand up.
Yeah, it just makes me realize, different stories have their different little things that come with it. And, I think that this show is like 128 for me or something at City Lights. But I remember when I was talking to Naomi, who is behind Small David right now, who is also our spotlight operator for most of the shows. I remember with young David, I was like, so he needs to wear high heels. Is everybody okay with that? It just makes me realize there's so many different things that each story requires. And to us, it's no big deal. But when you're meeting people for their first time and you have new artists coming in, and then, being a 12-year-old boy, I don't know if all of them would be like, yes, bring it. I can't wait for those red high heels. So all of a sudden, after we were talking about the casting thing, I was like, oh dear, I better check. It's like part of the story that David has to wear them and like them. So it was sort of an afterthought for me. And Naomi was like, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. I'm like, great.
I'm like, he'll wear them.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's so funny. Well, I'm sure as actors, all of us, we've had the moment where you put on a costume piece for the first time, like shoes or a hat or a rehearsal skirt that you wear, and it starts to get you into the character more, just the physical, the physical moment of that. Yeah, yeah. Well, Bart's saying that Bart who changes his shoes how many times in the show? Yeah, it makes you get into character much more.
Well, the funny thing is, it takes a lot of time to do the makeup situation and, to, transform into the drag, into Lola. And it's not the makeup that ultimately makes me feel like the character. It's once I'm getting dressed with Gloria and I'm getting into the 2 layers. And as soon as I'm all zipped up, I look at her and I'm like, okay, Lola's arrived. Let's go. And she gives me the same laugh every single time. And we go on stage and we make it happen.
Oh, I love this. It's like it's your tradition before you go on. That's nice. I mean, but you go in and out of Lola. I mean, you're Lola, you're Simon. Oh, did you just disappear? Oh, there you are. You just moved. You must be, you just backstage either putting on or taking off makeup through most of the show.
Well, just a spoiler. If you see me on stage, I'm sweating. I'm sweating very hard. And it doesn't take a lot to get me back into Simon, okay? So I'm sweating off a lot of Lola. And, I appreciate everyone backstage. Gloria, Amber, Nikayla, she's wiping off the makeup to transition me into Simon. And, there is a lot going on at one time, but I appreciate every single person backstage because they're so kind and they're so generous and they make sure that I make it on time every single time. And so I'm so grateful for everyone backstage that's helping me.
I see, Matt, sweat does good things sometimes. Nice.
Oh, and made a bit of it up on the top when we go up during Act 2 and made a little bit of, our little relationship while I'm dabbing his face while we're making the phone calls up above. And so I get to say, beautiful. Oh, it looks nice. Here, wipe your chest. So we've made it a little character thing.
Love it. Kaylin says in the chat, fun fact, Bart also plays Simon Sr. at the top of the show. He has a hat that helps to hide his Lola makeup. Yeah, nice. Oh, this is fun, you guys. We are about 4 minutes away from 8 o'clock. We usually wrap up in about an hour. If there are more questions, we can go a little bit longer. Do audience members have questions that you haven't had a chance to ask yet? Most of you have your cameras off. Feel free. We'll give you a minute to think, and I've got a few more photos that I don't know that you all have seen. Cast in Milan. Haha. Yes, we see how hard the costume department works. Lauren's got her mouth open. Some of these photos I don't think anybody's seen yet. That's a beautiful one. This next one you have seen, but I'm bringing it up because I think, Kaylin, you said these are your favorite looks. Was this your favorite costumes from the show?
Well, I never pick favorite children, at least not while the show is running. But if you ask me in a couple of weeks, I might say it's these. These were just like, this is sort of like a costumer's dream show to work on because it's such a playground. Like, how often do you get to costume 5 drag characters? Very rarely, right? So if you're going to do it right, like really go for it. And this was something that Lisa and I talked about really early on, was like, we're not shying away from the fact that this show heavily features drag. And we kind of touched on it at the start of our little chit chat, that it's important to us that the characters that are in drag are showcased and that they're beautiful and that it's a celebration. And so to kind of keep in line with that, our beautiful drag performers in the background, the angels, all get this one signature color that comes from the pride flag. And I had conversations with them about what the different colors represent. And so they picked what color they wanted based on what those colors mean. Lola is canonically always in red. So that was kind of chosen for her. But, like I said, it is a lot of work because it's a lot of costumes to handle, but it's, like I said, it's like a once in a lifetime kind of show that you really don't get to do very often. So I would say that the drag characters have sort of a special place.
Definitely. This was another look that I really liked too.
Yeah, I mean, Bart is just such a spectacular Lola, right? He's really easy to work with in a role that is very demanding, both in terms of the vocal performance and the physicality of the character, but also having a really deep understanding of the demands costume wise that playing a drag character will have. And Bart was such a trooper in getting in and out of all of these costumes and taking such excellent care of these costumes and finding beautiful ways to play with them. Like this scene in particular provides Bart with, you can kind of see these draping pieces, and he incorporates it into his movement. That's really all a costume designer can ask for, is for a performer to take care of the art that we create for them. And it's beautiful to be able to give them more tools in their toolbox to play with.
Lovely. Thank you. Well, there are many more photos, and we haven't even released all of them because some of them are little spoilers, but everyone's going to get access to them. Oh, got a nice long comment here in the chat. Debbie says, and I'm reading this for folks who are watching us later on YouTube. Debbie says, just wanted to say how much we've enjoyed seeing this production several times, and we'll be back for several more. You all bring so much joy to your characters. It's a privilege to watch you doing something that you all so dearly love to do. You leave the room with full hearts and dancing feet. Thank you for all your hard work. That's lovely. Thank you, Debbie. And Judy says, this was great. Thank you very much. Oh, this was a pleasure. Before we head towards wrapping up, anyone else have any questions, or any artists want to share a story that you wanted to share? Any last comments other than, see Kinky Boots, but buy your ticket soon because there aren't very many left. Haha. Yes, Lisa.
I just hope that all of these actors will work for us again. I cannot tell you how much I love them. And I think that if I put myself in other people's shoes for a living, and so those of you that are on this Zoom that don't do this for a living, there are little things in this show that have never been done before, to my knowledge. Like the delivery man is not written to be deaf. Bart came in and helped when we lost the actor that was supposed to be playing Simon Sr. to illness. So one of the things I love about the show when I watch it is, oh, like that's just ours. That's just this production. Those little things like that. It's also written for 6 angels, not 4, but it works better with 4 on our stage. I mean, it's 50 by 30. And you already have like so much scenery. So, I love them, and our angels, none of them have ever done that before. And so just the undertaking of like learning about the makeup, I brought in a couple of drag queens that do it professionally to help. And, they gave me a shopping list. Things that I never would have known, just orange stick to help with the 5 o'clock shadow, things like that. But every show is different, and every cast is different, and every moment is. And that's one of the reasons why I tell folks, if you saw it on Broadway or in London or whatever, you haven't seen it like this, and you haven't seen ours. And so I've had a lot of people say, thank you so much for encouraging me, even though I'm so used to, I've seen it before and all of those things. So I really loved that. And then the last thing that I thought was kind of funny, and this just shows how much this cast just rolled with every single thing that Mark and I asked them to do, every single thing, every day, was Charnay put a call out before the photos saying, need my angels and Lola to shave from the nose down. And I saw that and I was like, whoa, like we're asking a lot, And like the first time I saw Quinn come out in those 6-inch spikes, like I was just like, we are just, and everybody always just, sure, of course. Yes, Lisa. Yes, Mark. Let's go. Let's do it. Get on this, wear that. And then I remember, I think we toyed with Anthony, who had to leave earlier, letting him keep his armpit hair just because some do. And then when I had to go up to him and I was like, nope, changed my mind. He was like, darn, rats. Okay. Like, I can't say enough about this group of artists. And I've done so many shows in my life and so many at City Lights, and sometimes there are special ones. And sometimes there are really special casts. And I'm telling you, this is one of them. And when you have 3/4 of them being new to the organization, that's mind-blowing in the most beautiful way. That happened with so many folks that you've never worked with before. And now I just don't want them to ever leave the building. So I just wanted to say that.
I wanted to just quickly add something to what Lisa said about adjusting and having a unique take. One of the challenges they had early on is with What a Man, that Trish is in it with Bart and supporting him. And then the next thing you do, she's turned around and she's supporting Don in this corner and challenging him and calling him a sequin freak and, saying, what are you doing here? And they were going to cut me from the number, which made me really sad because I want to be in What a Man. And they so creatively said, well, she can still be in the number, but she will be singing about Dawn. So they just stuck me on the other side. I'm over there with the guys on the guys team, and I love it. And I've never seen it done that way. And it should always be done that way because it makes so much more sense. So thank you, Lisa.
I just wanted to say one more story because I forgot, like you guys were talking about the mic thing, which I should have touched on, but I just forgot to. So I just remember when one of my performance, I didn't turn my mic pack on, so it was off the whole time I was singing, and then the whole audience was like, "Oh yeah, like your mic pack was off, but we could still hear you." And I was like, "Oh, I thought," and I just remember afterwards, I was just being so sweaty because I put all of my energy into it. Like, oh yeah, we heard you. I was like, oh, thank you. I didn't know.
Thank you, David. Mateo, you've got a question or a story.
Yes, I probably have the worst one of all. So this was with Ken. Sadly, he's not going to be able to be here today, or he wasn't. So what happened is the first time we went on, the last time, I kind of just tripped on that little ledge when you're first coming on. And, Doug, when I rolled the ball to you, and I was supposed to come with that edge, I tripped on that. I stumbled, I got back up and kept going. And then it just keeps continuing, and it gets progressively worse and worse. So we both kind of mess up, both of us. So he messes up, so I can't sing my solo because the lines are all mixed up. I do not have the most beautiful thing in the world, that doesn't happen. The line before I say shoes, I say, instead, since it's not really, I'm like question of shoes. Yes.
Well, you just rolled with it. You did great.
Yep.
So you're a pro.
I have something to add. Can I go?
Yeah. Go ahead, Bart.
Perfect. So I want to say, the interesting thing about City Lights is I know the feedback that I always hear is, how did you guys make this happen? In terms of the creativity, the set, the small space, the intimate space. And, this is my second time reprising the role. And people often ask me, what sets this apart from, the other production that you did. And I've never seen the level of creativity that City Lights has brought to the forefront with making such a big production happen. And, the amount of stories that I'm hearing from people when they come up to me, and, I was talking to an 80-year-old woman yesterday. She's the woman who stood up yesterday. She was the first one who stood up, who was barefoot and was going through the audience and going through the aisles and dancing. And she was so excited. And, you know, she's coming up to me with tears and saying that her life has been transformed at 80 years old. 80 years old, and her life has been transformed in terms of the message that we're conveying, you know, when it comes to love and acceptance and just showing up as your true authentic self. And she's like, I thought I would never think that something so simple at 80 years old would be something that I need to hear. And she's with her partner, and, you know, she's talking about the trans community, and she's talking about all these different things that are brought to the forefront. And this is what theater is all about. This is what we've been missing since, you know, the pandemic, bringing things to the forefront, starting conversation, you know, being disruptors, showing love, showing acceptance. This is what the world needs right now. And if this is a show that you want to leave feeling empowered, you want to leave feeling love, you want to leave feeling, I need to talk to my father, I need to talk to my mother, I need to repair this relationship, this is the show that you need to come to, because this show will heal you in some form or fashion that will get you moving in the direction that you want to move. That's it.
What else can we all say? Right? Nothing.
Spot on.
Good night. No. Thank you, Bart. I can't wait to see the show. I'm so excited. Thank you all for spending this time on Zoom with me and everyone else tonight. This is great. And oh, and we have to say hello to the people who will be watching us in the future on YouTube. Hello, future people. Thank you for watching us.
Hello, future people.
Hello, future people. Thank you all. We've got 2 more weekends. We don't have very many tickets left. The Sundays are pretty much sold. There's some seats on Wednesday. There are not very many tickets left. And I'm the marketing director, so that makes me extremely happy. So thank all of you artists. You're wonderful. If you can see it, great. We do start a waiting list at the door half hour before curtain. So if the show is sold out, you can still give it a try. And if not, come back in the fall. We've got a great new season that we're starting off. So thank you all. Everybody say, yeah, you are wonderful. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yay.
Yay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.